All right, guys, what's going on? We're back with a shoulder workout. Let's jump right into it. So we got some rear delt flies coming at you right now. So the key with these is getting this machine set up right, and every machine is different. Every person is different, so you're gonna have to play around with this. But what I like to do is get the seat pretty low so that your arms, where you're gripping, is slightly above your shoulder. Now we're focusing on rear delts here, so what you want to do is lock in that angle that your elbow is at, and it's kind of a short range of motion. You don't want to squeeze too far back, because then you're going to start to activate your traps and your rhomboids. And so what I like to do is push outward, drive your elbows outward, and that will activate your rear delt. So really short range of motion. Keep that tension on that rear delt. Keep everything else tight, and it's going to take a few times for you to start to feel like, oh, that's my rear delt, because people neglect their rear delts. I mean, you might be genetically gifted with really nice rear delts, but I was not. So that's why we're hitting them. We start out hitting them. We like to smash like 3 or 4 sets right at the beginning of the workout. So you're seeing some dumbbell rear delt flies right here. So we'll superset these two, because once you start to feel your rear delt working, you're like, oh wow, there it is, and now you can activate it and squeeze it. So next up, we got a giant set here, and this one's kind of crazy. So we're going 10 behind the head, behind the neck presses, 10 overhead presses like normal, 10 front raises, and 10 high pulls, which is it's just ridiculous. Pick a lightweight, okay? Because you know what? Even start with the bar. And if you don't have good shoulder mobility and can't do behind the neck presses, don't do them. Like, if you can't get into that position without pain, don't do it. There's other things we can work on, or other things you can do, to supplement that. You don't have to do behind the neck presses if you can't. So throw a different exercise in there at the beginning if you can't do that. But yeah, so you're gonna see me use some momentum here, and normally I'm pretty against using momentum in exercises until like the last few reps. But for this, we're really just trying to pump blood into the delts, and there's a point where momentum is helping, and where it's just ridiculous. I mean, you guys will look around the gym and you'll see some dude on the freaking calf raise machine who's just leaning back and forth and using all this momentum. Like, yeah, like obviously you're not doing anything. But for these, keeping it relatively controlled, using that momentum to get the bar moving, and then squeezing your delts is going to be really beneficial to you. So here you can see some high pulls. Try to keep the elbows above the bar. And these giant sets are just brutal. I'm gonna blame Bill for these, because they were his idea. But we'll do these once every few weeks. You really got to be mentally ready to tackle something like that. And we usually do 3 or 4 sets. So 3 or 4 sets of that giant set. So by the end of it, your shoulders are freaking murdered. But moving on to something that's a staple in my shoulder workouts, side lateral raises, seated is key here. So now we're taking away all the momentum. These are great because it forces you to use a lightweight, and there's no momentum. So it's all on the delts right now, the side delt. So some keys with this: flex your lats at the bottom. When you're about to initiate the movement, flex your lats and then drive your elbows up. Just like the rear delts, keep those elbows, keep that whatever elbow angle you pick, keep it like that, okay? Because you're going to be driving up. You're going to be driving up through your elbows. At the top, pretend like you're pouring something out. So like with the dumbbell, you're pouring something out. And you don't have to go super high with these, like super high as in like, you know, some people go all the way up to their shoulders are touching their ears. You don't have to go that high because you know, you're getting a lot of trap activation when you're going. The higher you go, you're getting more and more trap activation, and there's better ways to hit that shortened range of motion by just moving your body. And that's something we'll talk about in later videos, how to hit that top shortened range just by changing your body angle. So I love those, and high reps with those, 25 to 35 reps with those. So next up, we got some seated shrugs here. I just started doing these, picked them up from Julian, and I like them. They're a shorter range of motion, and you're pulling it right up against your hamstrings, which you don't get a full contraction, but you can kind of do an isometric contraction, which I find is really nice. And you're gonna want to keep your elbows, keep your arms as straight as possible, and just try to drive those shoulders to your ears and squeeze. So kind of a good change up from, you know, just doing normal dumbbell shrugs and whatever. Next up, we got some rear delt cable flies. So started with rear delts, finishing with rear delts here. 2 more exercises. So these are nice because the tension is highest right in the middle. You know, I'll tell you guys where the tension is highest, right there, like right in the middle, and you can really get a nice contraction. So just burning out, just you know, I don't even think we counted reps with these. You just go till you can't do anymore, and you know, try to still maintain, even though you're bent over, maintain good posture, maintain you know, keep your scapula retracted. The only thing you want moving is your arm, is that upper arm portion. Next up, we got some cable crossovers for rear delts. These are awesome. So you're gonna set the cables up not all the way at the bottom, but maybe like a foot off the ground, and it's basically, you know, you're doing a rear delt fly, but the angle and the crossover, you know, you're gonna want to drive those elbows up and back. And here's a better angle of that, so you can see how my rear delt is activating. Keep those elbows up. Okay, go slow. I could be going a little bit slower. I would like to be going a little bit slower here, but go slow and make sure you're maintaining your posture even when you're letting the weights down, because that eccentric is going to be so crucial to keep the tension on your rear delt. You know, keep everything tight and keep the tension on that rear delt when you're letting the weight down. And then we're just moving on to some partials right here, and these suck after doing, you know, after you're burning out here. And that's the shoulder workout, guys. So kind of, you know, some giant sets thrown in, some higher reps, some different kind of exercises here. If you guys are trying some of these exercises and liking them, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll be back with quads in the next video. Peace.